Okay, so I'm going to start by prepping my skin, and I like to spray my face with the Mario Badescu facial spray. This one has aloe, chamomile, and lavender. I don't even know if it does anything for my skin. I like to think that it helps with the redness and like cooling my face, but probably doesn't do anything. I like to think it works, so I'm going to spray it anyway. I'm actually going to clip my hair out of my face. It looks so much better. So to prime, I'm gonna go in with the Tatcha Silk Canvas. I purchased this recently. I had tried out a sample of it and actually noticed so much of a difference in my face and skin. It just smooths everything out. And since it's skincare, it's supposed to help with protecting your skin from your makeup and clogging pores, and which I suffer so badly from. So for extra pore filling, I use the Pore Professional from Benefit, oldie but goodie, and I just put this in my T-zone area just to fill in those pores. And I like to pat it in my skin. I don't like to rub it around because it's pretty drying, so it's just an extra step I like to do to smooth out my face. For foundation this past year, I just gotten into the Estee Lauder Double Wear, which everyone's raved about this for years, and I finally got into it. I'm in the shade 4N2. This is Spice Sand. And with this, I'd like to put on my face. I noticed that when I've been using my beauty blender to just bounce it on my hand and bounce it on my face to pick up the foundation, that it absorbs too much, where this will still absorb, but it's already kind of setting on my skin, if that makes sense. I'm gonna bounce this and work this in. So why I really wanted to start this channel was I've just been always been really into makeup and doing makeup, and I'm definitely a makeup collector, and I love just trying different looks on myself. But you know, working and having a social life, don't always have time to experiment with newer makeup, different looks, fun looks. So I thought this would be a good outlet for me to be able to have a reason to try new makeup. Like, I like to post a lot, but it's just one picture and then it's like, I don't know, kind of boring. This I feel like would be more fun. So for concealer today, I'm going to go in with the Tarte Shape Tape. I'm in light medium. This is my favorite. I mean, almost everyone is obsessed with this, and it's just hard to find something comparable. And I have like found some nice concealers, but just something about this that like I feel like no other concealer can replicate. So before my concealer starts creasing, I like to go in and set that real quick. Today I'm using the Born This Way loose setting powder. I like to take a tapered face brush, and I'll like take a little more than, I won't tap off the excess, so that way I can really pack it on my skin without, it's kind of like baking without actually baking, because baking is so heavy on my skin, it does not look good on me. But I mean, on camera it definitely looks like, you can definitely see like the excess powder, but since I'm not pressing it in with the wet sponge, it's not completely cooking, I guess. So before I set the rest of my face, I like to prime my eyes. I've always used the Urban Decay primer potion, and then I had switched over last year maybe to using just a concealer, just because it's an extra step, it's an extra product. It's just, I felt like it was unnecessary, and I never liked priming my eyes with concealer because I felt like it just didn't stick as well, I guess, the eyeshadow. And just recently I switched back over to using a eyeshadow primer, and I've noticed like the world of a difference with blending my eyeshadows, packing on color. It's just, the longevity. I just remembered why I really liked using the primer potion over concealer, because I feel like concealer creases. I mean, I definitely set my primer, but I just feel like it's a little more tackier. And I like to go in with a wet sponge just to pick up any excess and really like push it into your eyelids. Then with the same tapered face brush, I go in with like a light face powder. You can do a light eyeshadow, but just so I don't have to pull out a whole eye palette. So I just can't believe that Thanksgiving is next week. So I really wanted to get this look up because I feel like we're going to be jumping into Christmas and holiday looks, New Year's looks, glitter, winter, and now that those important parts are set in, I like to take a big face brush to set the rest of my face, and I'll just tap that in, shake off the excess, and also like set and then also wipe off the excess of those powders we used earlier. So now I'm gonna go in and bronze up my face. My favorite bronzer is the Chocolate Soleil from Too Faced, and I've been using this Jaclyn Hill Morphe brush for my bronzer. Funny story about this, like one of the most annoying stories I have, is I've been using this for years, and I had ran out and I needed a new bronzer. I needed to get a new one, a replacement. So I purchased this. As you can see, the old packaging. A week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month later, they come out with the cutest new packaging. I already bought this. I'm already like, know I'm gonna be like using it every day, and so upset. I'm like, really? All that? Like, I was like, you know, when you got like a little left and you're trying to make it like go a long way, and then when I finally decide to purchase a new one, right after they come out with the new packaging, I was so upset. And I know I'm not going to be purchasing a new one anytime soon, because this does last a long time. I feel like bronzer, you don't, as much as you use, like it just. Then I like to go in with a smaller eyeshadow brush and contour my nose. Almost dipped in the eyeshadow. I haven't been contouring a lot recently. I usually just like to bronze up the face. Sometimes I'll go in and carve out with like a setting powder or a lighter powder. For the sake of the video, I'm going to contour today. So I usually this is the old packaging. Like, this is like, girl needs to replace this one. I like to use the middle shade. Ran out. I was on like the last strand of it, but I finished it up. So I've been obsessed with this Morphe by Jaclyn Hill. This is the JH05. This is such a good brush to contour with. It's soft enough but like stiff enough to really like carve that out. I don't know, I just feel like it blends as it's carving that color in. And then I always like to carve out my jaw. For blush today, I'm going to use the MAC in Pinch Me. Jaclyn Hill killed it with her face brushes. So this is just an angled blush brush. And I like to put a decent amount of blush on just because I feel like it's the first to fade. And it'll fade even while I'm doing my makeup. So just gives you a nice flush of color back in your skin after concealing everything. So before I put the highlighter on, I like to really set my face and get that powdery look off my face. So I go in with the MAC Fix Plus and I just spray each side of my face. Sometimes I'll go back in with a sponge and just press it in, just to get all those powders melted back into your skin, because you don't want to have too much of a cakey fake skin. Sometimes they can just be so dry and putting all that powder on. And I like doing this before my highlighter because I feel like it gives it something to like really stick on to. So for highlighter today, I'm going to take the Glow Kit in the Sugar palette. We're going to go in with Butterscotch first, and then I'm going to top it off with the Marshmallow shade. Oh my god, this palette is literally everything. Like, I barely dipped into it too. That's the best part. So you'll learn to know that I love highlighter, and I'm literally probably gonna put it all over my face because I'm just that obsessed. So now I'm going in just on the tops of my cheekbone with the marshmallow shade, and just to really want it to pop right here, make your cheekbones look real high. And I don't know what it's supposed to do, but I know you're supposed to do it. So, and then I just like to tap certain parts in my skin just to seamlessly blend so it's not a stark line. So for brows, I just recently got into using a pencil. I've always used the powder duo from Anastasia, but recently I've been really into the brow definer. I'm in the shade dark brunette, so I'm gonna go off camera just because it's hard to film, but I do want to do a separate video on how I fill in my brows, both ways, with a powder and with a pencil, just to give you guys some ideas on what might be easier for you, what tips and tricks I have. So I'm gonna go fill these in and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that the brows are all filled in, we're gonna move on to the eyes. So one thing you guys are gonna learn about me is I'm completely obsessed with the original Jaclyn Hill palette by Morphe. I've been trying to branch out and use other palettes and other brands, so hopefully creating this channel will help me do that and give me reason to buy other newer palettes. So you will for a while see me pulling that in for just transition shades, highlighting shades, and I'm trying not to use it as a full look, but just forewarning, for the next few videos you will be seeing me. I am trying to branch out and get other ones, but the only palette from the Vault collection I have yet to use is the Ring the Alarm palette. So this is all the reds and oranges. I really thought it would be good for the look I was thinking about creating today, so I am going to be using that for the first time today with the original palette. So to start off, I like to mix these two shades together for my transition. I just throw that in just to warm up the crease. And I like to use a fluffier brush for this just because it makes it not as pigmented but gets the color in there without creating a harsh crease and packing all that in. I'm actually going to zoom you guys in a little more just so you can kind of see what we're doing here. With the Morphe M441, I'm going to take the shade Rush right here. And I take this from outer corner to inner corner. Now I really want to brighten up that crease a little bit, so I'm going to take the shade Alert with the same M441 and put that right on top. Next I'm going to take this more of like a, I don't know how to explain that color. It's like a warm brown tone. It's more of an orangey brown with the Jaclyn Hill JH35 from Morphe. And I'm going to sit this a little lower in my crease just to start bringing in that brown tone for our smoky eye. Now I'm going to go in with the Sigma E25. This is a nice packing kind of blending brush. So I'm going to take the shade Secret. It's more of a darker brown. This is going to go more towards in our outer V. I'm going to pack on the color more on the outside and then slowly blend it into the crease towards my inner corner. And then when I go to do that, I will flip the brush sideways just so it's less of a harsh line and more softer of a blend. This is actually one of the nicer palettes of her collection. It's the first time I'm using it and all the shades are blending. They remind me a lot of the original palette The other ones, some of them I feel like you have to work a little more with. I haven't luckily ever had an issue with any of the other palettes in the collection like I know some people have, but so my camera keeps shutting off on me, which is really frustrating. But anyways, after going in with the dark shade, I like to go back to those other transition shades and just blending it out. Blending it constantly is what's key to making it blend, basically. I know people always ask like what's the #1 tip for doing like a smoky eye or anything, and it's always blending. Blending is the key. You don't want to put in the work to get it done, not gonna look good. And you'll see the spots that are gonna need a little more work than others. I mean, it just is what it is. Sometimes some spots are warmer, some pick up darker, so you just gotta watch your eye and go back in. So after I'm done blending, I think with this look, I'm kind of torn because I really like this more like reddish golden shade, and then there's like this orangey gold shade. I feel like I might put like a glitter topper, so let's go with this orangey gold shade. It's called On Camera. And I'm gonna take that on a synthetic packing brush. I'm gonna put that all over the lid. Yeah, that's really pretty. This is like a fiery golden color. It's like perfect for the look I was going for. I'm gonna go in with the Stila. This is the Painted Lady. This is part of their holiday set for their liquid glitters. So I'm just gonna take this and put it right on top of that shimmer shade just to be extra, because why not? So again, I'm just gonna go back and keep blending after that dried, just so it's seamless. You don't want it to be a stark line of glitter. It won't look too good. So to highlight my brow bone and my inner corner, I like to take the second lightest shade of the Jaclyn Hill OG palette, and I'll just throw that right on the high point of my brow bone, and then right on the inner corner. So on the lower lash line, I'm going to take that Alert shade with a thin fluffy pencil brush and just start that. And for the lower lash line, I just like to connect the outer corner, but I'd stop like halfway at the eye just so it doesn't close my eye up. To line my eyes, I'm going to do a wing. I like to use the Mega Liner from Wet n Wild. This is like $3 and probably the best liner I've ever used. I can't talk and film while I'm doing this, so I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. So now that we have the wing liner done, I'm going to move on to lashes. Today I'm going to apply the Ardell Double Up Wispies. I'm really not sure how I feel about these Double Up Wispies. The band on them is kind of like funky. I don't know. They're like bendy, but they like, I don't know, like a bendy usually like you can move them around, but like when you move it, it like holds whatever. I don't know. It was really weird, but I mean they don't look bad though. I'm used to using just like the regular wispies. Oh, they work. So for lips today, I was unsure if I wanted to do like a dark vampy look, but with this like, you know, like more warm tone golden eyeshadow, I actually kind of want to do more of like a red brown color. So I'm going to use a L'Oreal Infallible Matte. This is one of my favorite formulas of liquid lipsticks. It's so comfortable and so affordable. Dose of Colors, definitely hands down my #1 favorite, but definitely top 3. But this is in the shade Cowboy. It's more of like a red brown. And first I'm going to go in and line my lips. I'm going to use the shade Whirl from MAC. This color is almost perfect for any liquid lip. Now I'm just going to take the L'Oreal lip And I love the applicator on this because it's really pointed and it's very flexible. So I will say with this lipstick, it does take like a minute or two to completely dry down. So I try not to like rub as much because it's just really tempting because it's really like satiny right now. So I'm going to wait for that to set. And now that everything's all done, I'm just going to go in with my Morphe setting spray to set everything in place. The mist on this spray is so soothing. If you've never tried the Morphe setting spray, I highly recommend checking it out. It's really affordable, it lasts a while, and it feels amazing. Like just having like a fine mist instead of like a little, like, I don't know, it just feel like I'm not getting like dots all over my face. So that's everything complete. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching me create this look. I really wanted to film a warm neutral look before fall's almost over, and like I said, before we go into the holiday season with cool tones and glitters and reds and all that jazz. So don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me, and hit like on this video so I know you guys enjoy these type of tutorial videos. I know they're kind of dwindling out on YouTube nowadays, but I still personally have been really into watching them, so I wanted to, you know, create one, especially for my first video back on this channel. So once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.